So, how's everybody doing this morning? Early morning for me. I've come down from Manchester. Luckily not this morning, but overnight, and had to go up here to this event. So, where this talk going? Where am I? Here I am. So yeah, speaking the language of your audience. One of the things we fail when we're talking to board is we're trying to talk in technical terms. We're trying to explain things like DDoS and you know, a data breach. What is a data breach? What's ransomware? And if we're not using the words that they understand, how do we get it across? So I thought, I've got a 15-minute talk to do something here. So I thought I'll do something different. I'm going to talk about American football, which is one of my loves. I'm going to explain American football to you. So who here watches American football? Put your hands up. Yeah, we've got massive... I have a feeling my next question's not going to go down well. Anybody played American football? Yay! What do you play, mate? Which uni? Cool. Yeah, I've played down in Southampton, but not at university. But I played down there many years ago. Yeah, unfortunately, the week before we played in Dundee, and then the week after we played down in Southampton. So, yeah, the UK is not a massive kind of scenario playing American football, so sometimes you have to play all the way in North Scotland to the next day, all the way down to south of England. You know, but it's growing, and that's the great thing. So this talk's trying to explain to you. So I'm expecting you to understand what I'm saying. Hopefully I can get some of the other guys to understand it. So, this is me. So I've been in charge of security for many brands. So I was in charge of Brammer. So Brammer is a company that not many people know, but I was in charge of security for Brammer Group during their purchase by Advent International, the people who own WorldPay, and the subsequent £2.3 billion merger of IPH Group and Brammer. After that, I went to PZ Cousins. Maybe not heard of the brand, but CareX is one of their products. So I was working for them when we had suddenly COVID hit. And as a result, I was charged for their security globally during that. And it was interesting, changed my threats. I had to think of different kind of people who were going to attack us. And I decided to leave them during the middle of the pandemic and go to a travel agent on the beach who weren't selling holidays. Yeah, I'm a weirdo doing that kind of thing. But obviously, it's a different kind of risk. So yeah, I've been charged with security on the beach for 2.5 years and decided to move on a month and a half ago. But this is me in personal life. I've done Sky Sports adverts. I've done Heaven and Earth show for BBC, reconstructions. And this is me playing down here. This is actually me. I'm a bit of a heavy guy, but I used to be able to get off the floor. Now, if I try to jump, I'll probably get about that far off the floor. I think it's more me keeping my toe on the floor. I've been in the papers, and now I'm a coach of Rosendale Bucks. So Rosendale's an area north of Manchester, and that's where I coach at now. I'm the offensive coordinator for those guys. Okay, so basics American football, and this talk. So the most important person on an American football field is the quarterback. So imagine you're the quarterback for this talk. We play on a rugby pitch. We don't have these really nice posh stadiums that you see in America. We're playing on rugby pitches, and this is a really good pitch, but we don't train on that. We play on a bog. It's like we set off going in the mud's up to your knees and all that kind of stuff. Horrible. And then the most important thing on the American football pitch is this thing, the pigskin, the football. Because without that, we can't go anywhere. So think of that as your data. So that's the most important thing you've got on the fields. Okay, you've probably heard of offense and defense, many of you, if you've watched American football. So we need to get away from that. We're now thinking of the data. So we change that from offense and defense to the protectors of the data and the attackers of the data. So the defense totally changed. They're now attacking and trying to steal your data. So this is an American football team, a play. So we've got these guys in the middle, LG to RT. So these are your offensive line. These are the big guys. Think of them as the heavy tin. So these are the things in your data center. They're protecting you. They're the firewall. Hence the reason why there's a fire over here. It's not, I decided to put it not without a wall. Thought a fire would be all right. And we're thinking along the lines of they're on your perimeter of your network. So they're there protecting it. We've got the external internet. And we've got these things that are going to receive your services. So think of this now with my talk as being talking about a media company streaming data. So we've got YouTube logo to make it a bit obvious. So we're going to stream data to those guys. Now, when we talk about streaming data, we're using what's called UDP. because we're not really worried about connections. If it loses connection, doesn't really matter. That's the same as this. Quarterback throws the ball, it will hopefully arrive, but it might not. So that's how you share the data externally to these guys as a streaming media. Everybody agree? That's the way it works. If you're watching something on Netflix, you'll lose the connection, and then maybe in the next 10 seconds it might come back on because it's streaming it to it. It doesn't matter if it loses connection. But that's the quarterback. He's streaming that data externally. And these guys on the line are opening ports in the firewall to allow that out. So again, they're sharing the data through a port that the firewall is making, as we do in IT. But we also got the internal users on the internal network. They also want to share data externally. So we've got to open up those guys, and they're allowed through the firewall. And these guys are doing connectionless. So for giving the ball to these guys, I actually physically hand them the ball, and they take it off me. So I'm guaranteed the connection, and they're going away with it, which is like TCP. So it's got the two versions of transfer data that we have in IT. Okay, so you might be thinking, American football, it's got nothing to do with cyber. I'm putting there in the UK. The reason why is because if you look at the NFL being the same as the cyber in the UK, they're not. They've got ultimate money. But this is J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt played for Arizona Cardinals, Steelers, and many other guys. You American football fans, you've probably heard of him. Massive beast of a man, 6'5". Just a little bit smaller than me, but not massively. He is weighing 20.5 stone. He's got proper arms on it, not my flabby ones. He's got, he's built. He currently owns Burnley Football Club. So for where my team is, it's 7 miles down the road from us. And he wears number 99, or he wears number 99 at Cardinals. That's him. This is our 99. This is Dan. He's 5'9", weighs 17 stone, he's a college lecturer. And his missus says, that's a lie. He's about 5'7". So that's what I'm dealing with. It's not the same thing. I haven't got this behemoth. I've got little Dan. He's only got little arms as well. So we've tried to play centre, and his arms weren't long enough to reach the ball, so we had to swap him. So, in the UK, we've got limited resources. We're having to deal with what we've got. We've got limited time with our trainers. So I like this picture. We've got these guys who are obviously well-trained. They're all here. These guys are all doing dances. They haven't got a clue. They're just having a bit of fun. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to give somebody something they can do out of the actual, their day-to-day work and things like that. And we've got a lot of guys who are involved in our game. And I say guys and girls, because American football is actually inclusive. It doesn't make any difference what gender you are, you're allowed to play. There's no rules saying male and female or anything like that. Anybody do. We've got a lady who plays for us on our defensive line, and she turns up and plays the games exactly like we do. But as a result, they come to us and they enjoy it because it's a team atmosphere. And as a result, I've got people who are saying to us, without this, I don't know what I'm doing, because we are a team. So it's inclusive and trying to make sure everybody's happy and involved. But unfortunately, sometimes we lose all our budget. So we've done it in a cyber. We've arrived up a business. I've done it myself, turned up to PZ Cousins, and they went, you got a budget? Yeah, and it's spent it on this tool. And they spent so much, I'm not going to say what the tool is, they spent all the budget on one tool, and I've got no money left. This guy here, 17-year-old, in a college in America, high school in America, 17-year-old. Look at the size of him. He's 7 foot tall and weighs 36 stone. He was not allowed to play kids American football, because as you can imagine, he would kill somebody. So yeah, they spent all the budget on this guy, so everybody else is like down here. That's what we've been. We're in businesses where we've had that scenario. Sometimes, and also, we don't know who's going to attack us. This is the true thing, by the way. You can actually watch these. They put loads of little kids up, and they're playing against the mascots. So these mascots are actually full-size people playing American football against kids. We can stay over here. This kid got absolutely nailed by this guy. Great bit of fun. But the kids are enjoying it because it's all something different. But it's actually a thing. You can go to watch the game and see this kind of stuff. So we don't know who's attacking us. We haven't got a clue who those are because they're all masked. We've got script kiddies. I've had people come to me. That works on Madden because they play it on the PlayStation or on the Xbox. That's going to work. Yeah, that's fine on the computer game, but it doesn't mean it works here. We've got that in the industry. We're trying to protect against people who are just going on the internet and seeing how to do something. They haven't got the skills, they just read something online. We've also got misconfigured servers. This was earlier on in the season. So we've got these two big guys. They've got these 5 big guys who are protecting you. This Chicago Bears NFL team. They're playing against the Vikings. These two big firewalls decide to push each other. And at that point, somebody walks through and tackle the quarterback, because these two are busy pushing each other and not protecting the QB. Misconfigured servers, because people have not put the right things in, and therefore, as a result, it affects the systems. So again, failure of a design. This is my team. I've got a lot of legacy systems. The average age of my players is in the late 30s. So when I'm saying back to that point, thinking along the lines of, all legacy systems, I'm designing systems with my players to suit their abilities. So yeah, we've got legacy systems. We have vulnerabilities. These are all injuries that have occurred for my players. I love this one. Look at that bull. He just literally, his leg is like this. This guy tore his Achilles tendon. This guy ruptured his ACL. This guy here, he got a bruise, and if he put his finger on it and moved his finger away, it would stay there for 15 seconds, a bubble. And then we've obviously got loads of hand injuries. And the one that you don't think of is this one, sunburn. We play in the middle of summer. And as a result, we're going out there, playing a game for 3.5 hours, and most people don't put suntan cream on. And as a result, we get that. We've got these guys who are doing our authorities, the equivalent of the ICO. And they've got these flags. That's there. Look, we're going to fine you. They throw a flag at you and they're going to fine you. But we honestly don't have a clue what they're doing. Who's seen this? If I told you that means invisible sombrero, it doesn't, by the way. That's what it put on a bit of a joke. But they've all got these signals. And when you're seeing them, if you don't know the game, you haven't got a clue what it is. So that's what each of these are giving different kind of scenarios. So be in me. Thanks very much. But one of the big things, AI. Next big thing. Thursday Night Football in America. Absolutely wonderful. Amazon is collecting a load of data from the stadium, streaming that through all their servers, and eventually put it on your screen. You might think not much of it. But this is how good the technology is. It's picking up these guys here. This is a QB, and it's displaying this guy here live to the people, saying he is most likely going to get the ball passed to him. And that's being shown to you as a live audience. So you know it's likely to get that. That's wonderful as an audience. You're learning something. But what about this? This is the start of the play. Based on where everybody stood, it's highly likely that they'll be passing the ball to Chase, who's this guy. So now you're thinking along the lines of betting. If I know where it's going to go, what can I gain from that? I might be able to bet on that early to be able to then decide where it's going to go. This one here is unbelievable. It's picking up these guys here and it's seeing him moving forward. They're expecting him to chase up the quarterback. It's also choosing where all the receivers are and the likelihood of this play working. So betting and the ability to be able to go at the speed is unbelievable. So AI is becoming a big thing in American football, but not in the UK. We don't have that over here. This is an American thing. So, conscious of the time now. So, terminology. We've got pass protection. So, pass protection, put your big guys up front, stop anybody coming through, don't you? But what happens if those big guys, these guys here are creating what's called a pass pocket, what happens if they come through? Well, if you've got a firewall and somebody gets through, what are you going to do? You'll maybe have some other system inside that's going to alert you and deal with it. And that's what we have called an intrusion protection system. So once somebody gets past this pocket, they'll come and they'll take down the attacker. So that's what this guy is, 22. He's realized this guy here is going to get through, and he's decided to come and get him. So we've got the equivalent in IPS in American football. It's the running back in pass protection. This is a DDoS. So this is American football's blitz. So what this means is we've got too many people to deal with. So they're actually taking down our systems. Too many people are attacking our defenders. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attackers. It means you've got one more attacker than you've got defender. So what will happen? At that point, the attackers get through. And at that point, can he pass? No, because this guy's jumping, these guys are all watching. We've lost the data. So we've got the equivalent of DDoS, and that's a blitz. We've got interception. So an interception is when somebody else captures the ball. So that's a loss of data, a data breach. So we've got this guy, his QB. He's passing the ball to this receiver. But then we've got JJ Watt, who I mentioned before. He jumps up, and you can see here, he's going to jump up and catch the ball. And there's the ball in his hands. At that point, the offense has lost the ball. So in that case, they've lost the data. It's a data breach. We've got safety. It's a little known one, this. Safety. I hate safeties. If you get hit by a safety, it's one of the worst things you can get. Because what actually happens is, in this case, this guy's going to tackle you inside this little nice, pretty area, which is your equivalent of rugby. It's your touch zone area where you're going to score a try, but it's on your own team. So if he gets tackled in that scenario, what actually happens is, because he gets tackled, although he's still got the ball, he can't do anything with it. We're finishing now, eh? Cool. So yeah, that's safety, lost the ball. And then the final video, if you don't mind, is this. This is everything in one. So we've got, oops, that didn't start, let's meant to be starting. Can you? Right, so this scenario, this guy's blitzing, he's coming through, he hits the guy, data breach, ball's lost, he picks up the ball, goes all the way down, and scores. So we had a data breach, we had a loss of data, so we had a DDoS, data breach, loss of data, and then encryption of data. Because we've lost the ball, they've got it, they've ransomed us because they've taken 6 points off us, and therefore everything's gone wrong. So yeah, that's my talk. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've learned something different to talk at in American football in a cyber event.